Hey, this is Drunk Under the Sun. I'm Joe, and this is Tom. And we're going to get drunk and talk about everything under the sun.
Under the sun.
Tom, what did you want to talk about this week?
Well, you know, I just love video games so much. And I play them all the fucking time. And they're the fucking bomb diggity. Like, I was playing Red Dead today. But no matter how many times I play them, they always piss me off. And I started thinking, like, why the fuck do video games always piss me off? No matter... I've been playing video games since Atari, I will be. They used to piss me the fuck off, but I love fucking playing them. It's crazy how the games, even so old, still know how to piss people off. Now I'm sure there's some scientists out there right now going, "I know why. It's a trigger mechanism with your glands and your opioids and this and that." And, you know, whatever. I don't know. But I just think, I just find it funny. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember fucking getting so pissed off at Mortal Kombat. And it's not because I sucked at the game. Like, I was a fucking animal at this fucking game. Mortal Kombat 2, I owned on Genesis. And it was the shit. And I would just destroy shit. But when I was having a bad day or I was irritated, I'd go play this fucking game. Because it was supposed to help me clear my mind by whooping other people's asses and ripping their spines out of their back. It was going to calm me down. But when I got my ass whooped, being pissed off, it pissed me off even more.
It did. I can remember that. I can remember playing video games all the time. And just something little. It's just a video game. But it goes off and it triggers you and you get pissed.
And it's addicting. And especially if you have an attitude of never quitting.
Yeah.
You're like, you can't beat me.
One more time. And then 30 tries later.
It's still beating you.
Yeah.
And then your controller is against the wall.
Yeah.
The system is fucking destroyed. But see, Genesis was durable as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I took my Genesis. I remember taking it above my head, smashing it, and coming down with my foot onto top of it with the game still in it. And all it did was rattle. And I had to blow it maybe a little harder and push it to the side a little slightly more to get the game to start the next time. But it still worked.
Yeah, that's like the tech support back then was blow in the cartridge and put it back in and it should work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful. Now, if you scratch your CD or whatever, it's fucked.
Yes, cartridges seem to be a little bit safer, but I don't know. I don't think they hold as much. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure that's probably one of the reasons why. I remember the first time I got my Xbox One. I did not fucking know that the games had to download first.
Neither did I.
I thought I would be able to go get 3 fucking games that I've been wanting to play for like 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
And I got these 3 games that I wanted to play for like at least 2 years. Put them in and get to play it.
Nope.
No.
That's showing you like
hours later. I was able to play 1.
Yeah, you don't even want to play any by the time
I was salty. I was so mad. I was like, "Fuck you! How dare you, game!"
But that just shows you how much it's changed since when we started. We played Atari, Nintendo, Super Nintendo. All those games were still hard as shit.
Hard as shit.
And, oh, man.
But fun as fuck.
And it was,
But how mad was you when the dog popped up on fucking Duck Hunt? He's like,
oh, God.
Because you lost. I was like, shut up, dog!
You tried to shoot the dog.
I tried to. And I wish Nintendo would come out with a new one that you could shoot the dog. He has to duck and dodge. Like, whoa, whoa.
I better not do that again.
Oh, bitch! That's why on like Red Dead or Grand Theft Auto, anything with animals, and I kill them every time. It could be why. As a fucking dog.
Yeah, it traumatized you.
Traumatized me.
Oh, man. But there's so many good games.
So many good games.
Even back then.
Back then was the shit. You had fucking the Mega Mans. If you go with Atari, my favorite Atari game, still is Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was the shit. Pac-Man was the shit. Pitfall was the shit. Yeah. Asteroids was sort of the shit, in my opinion. But
I like Galaga. That was a good one.
See, I didn't like that one either.
I liked it. I liked this game called Xenophobe, but it was like you just run around shoot aliens.
I like Joust. Joust was the shit.
Yeah, Joust was fun.
I love the Pac-Mans. I loved fucking... I don't know, but then Nintendo just...
I don't see how Nintendo,
awesome.
Since you touched on Donkey Kong, wonder how Nintendo got that from Atari, since it started out with Atari.
Very true. Same with Mario, because Mario was in Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some.
Maybe they were video.
Maybe they were a subsidiary.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Or somebody who was a stakes owner in them. Maybe I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Somebody out there right now is
Yeah,
going,
they're like, these guys are
these
stupid.
fucking retards. They don't know how Nintendo was made. No, I don't, and I don't care how Nintendo was made. All I know is Nintendo was a shit.
Yeah, it was.
And the original Nintendo Punch Out was got to be my favorite game.
I like.
And then, see, the top 5 in me was Punch Out, Mega Man 2 and 3. So I'm counting that as one game, even though they're 2. Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes was the shit. Fucking Super Mario Bros. 3 was the shit.
Yeah, 3.
And what would be my 5th number on Nintendo? I don't know what number 5
Contra?
would be.
One of the Contra?
Yes, it would be Contra. Thank you. Why the fuck did I? Because I remember being on 2 players, and I'd be like, okay. And this is what was crazy. Like, if I play with somebody, I'd be like, I'm Schwarzenegger, and the other guy's like, well, I'm Stallone. Like, we had one was Schwarzenegger, one was Stallone at all times. Yeah. That's what me and my family members, they were like, I'm Stallone, like I'm Schwarzenegger, because those are the 2 army guys at the time. I think that's kind of funny.
I liked, I don't know, you could take different paths. It was a side scroller, but you could like go down on the water. The other guy can be on top.
Yeah, but you had to stay in the same screen.
Yeah, of course. But
squish them.
It was a pretty sweet game, though.
Oh, that game was shit.
Super C was pretty good, which was like the
that was
second
a Super
one.
Nintendo,
Super
though.
Nintendo, yeah.
That one was dope.
Those games.
So what was your top 5 for Nintendo?
Top 5. See, that's the thing.
Because Bad Dudes was the shit, and a lot of people don't know what the fuck Bad Dudes is. It's like Double Dragon, but better.
Yeah,
like pretty much.
I had no idea what you're talking about.
Bad Dudes was the shit. What it is was you were these street dudes. It was just like set up like Double Dragon. So you're like walking down the street, just whooping the fuck out of dudes' asses, and they're coming at you with chains and bats and gloves. But you didn't have like a fucking. You were just 2 street fighters who were like saving, like they were like Van Damme. If Contra was Stallone and Schwarzenegger, Bad Dudes was like Van Damme and Chuck Norris teaming up. Like you're just walking around beating people's asses.
Yeah,
it was the shit.
I would have to say my top 5. I can't really remember a lot of the Nintendo games. I remember having Return of the Joker.
That was fun.
I remember that. I remember playing a.
I forgot about Return of the Joker.
I remember playing a RoboCop game that I liked to play, but I sucked at Nintendo games. Like I remember playing Super Mario Brothers 3 and that stuff, but I sucked at it. Zeldas were fun, like the original Zeldas.
I hate original Zeldas.
They probably introduced me into a more RPG element, but I'd have to say like probably Return of the Joker, probably Mario.
It's only because you remember them.
Yeah, I can't remember very much of them, but. That's just how it is. Like they would piss me off more often than I enjoyed them back then because I just sucked. I don't remember ever completing Nintendo games. I don't like regular Nintendo games. I don't remember ever.
Beat the game?
Yeah, I never remember beating any regular Nintendo game.
All the ones I mentioned, I beat. Now, when you got the Genesis, I didn't beat all my Genesis games.
Yeah,
because Maximum Carnage, I could not beat that fucking game. I couldn't get past a certain point, and I never beat it.
Yeah.
So that was a hard fucking game. That was a fun game, but it was hard as fuck.
Yeah, what ticked me off about that when Genesis and Super Nintendo came out.
Still no save.
Yeah, there was no save, and
I think Super Nintendo did save though, didn't they? Because I think Donkey Kong Country, I think you could save in Donkey Kong Country.
I think certain games
so
that implemented saves, some of them you couldn't. Because I know Mickey Mouse's Magical Quest, you couldn't save.
Yeah, you couldn't.
But we beat the shit out of that game.
That's a fun game.
Yeah.
That was fun as shit.
Yeah. I like that one. Like Super Nintendo, I can remember more. I actually completed some of those. Like Mickey Mouse, that Magical Quest game, that was one of my favorites. I liked Legend of Zelda Link to the Past.
See,
that was
again,
a good game.
I didn't like Zelda still at that point.
I like Secret of Mana. That game was the shit.
Secret of Mana. That was I remember.
It was like
that.
an RPG. You had this dude and like
Mana was your magic and all that shit.
And you had these like 2 chicks. One was like a little.
I think Sean had that.
Yeah, he probably really did. Yeah, I like that game. I liked I started playing Final Fantasies then, but I still don't really like those. I remember playing them though, like Final Fantasy 3. I think I beat that one.
Earthworm Jim was fun. Earthworm Jim.
I never played Earthworm Jim.
That was fun. Donkey Kong Country was the shit.
Yeah, and that's when they started implementing like more 3D looking stuff, like Donkey Kong Country, and then they had like the Star Fox, and it was like
Star Fox was the shit.
Yeah. So
See, the Super Nintendo, I had to go to people's houses and play because I didn't have it.
I only had Sega
Street
briefly.
Fighter was on there. Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter, yes.
Street Fighter was my shit.
Yes.
Street Fighter. See, I'm a big one-on-one game fighter games like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Hands down, are the best two of all time.
Street
After
Fighter.
that is Tekken.
Now Tekken was sweet, but
and then you have a bunch of good ones after that, but they're still not the level of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Street Fighter was the shit, and Super Nintendo had Super Street Fighter because you had Street Fighter 2, and then you had Super Street Fighter 2, and then you had 4 extra people.
Yeah.
I think because you could play as M. Bison in that one, couldn't you? I'm pretty sure you could.
Yeah, you could play in that one.
That game was a shit.
Yeah, it was a great game. That's one of my favorites.
Are you looking?
It was stupid how Nintendo tried to censor the blood, though.
Yeah, that was no Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
that was stupid as fuck. And then they didn't censor it at all.
I know. Then they were
Killer Instinct.
They were just like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, well, Killer Instinct was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it was.
That was a fun one.
That was awesome.
And they didn't censor no fucking shit.
I remember seeing that.
Getting burnt to the crisp in that shit.
I remember seeing that in the arcade first, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!"
Yeah.
And that was the same thing. Like I saw
Killer Combo. They're doing that shit.
Yeah, I remember seeing and playing that X-Men game on the one that went to Genesis.
Yeah,
that was an arcade, but it never went to Super Nintendo.
No, it was only Genesis.
Yeah,
when it came to home.
Yeah,
that was the first game I owned from Genesis because my Genesis didn't come with a Sonic; it was by itself.
Oh yeah.
And you had to buy it. You had to buy one because when they first came out, they came with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
I never owned Sonic the Hedgehog because when my parents got Sega Genesis, Sonic was not on it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was I don't know why. They didn't have no games, so they had to buy me a game. And I made sure the first game I wanted was X-Men.
Oh yeah.
That game was a shit.
It was.
But one, because at the time, I got that when we was in elementary.
Yeah.
That I know for a fact I got that one. So I was about 10. And one, the X-Men game was out. I mean, the X-Men cartoon. And I was getting into the comics at the time.
Yeah.
And the X-Men was my favorite comic besides Batman. Mm-hmm. Besides Batman.
Yeah.
The X-Men was the shit. And Sabretooth was in that game.
Yeah,
you could play as Wolverine.
Yeah.
You could play as fucking Nightcrawler and Gambit.
Yeah.
Play as Gambit.
Yeah.
That was badass.
It was a great game. And I was pissed because I didn't really have Sega a lot. I had it like briefly now and then. But I had Super Nintendo, and I was mad because I couldn't play it. I didn't have the console to play it on. It sucked.
Yeah. Now, they did have the X-Men and Spider-Man game for both of them, but I didn't get that one.
I think I played it, but I didn't really like it. I liked the other one better.
Yeah.
And it was only on Sega. Mm-hmm. At the same time.
Super Nintendo, remember Batman Returns?
Batman Returns!
Because Batman Returns, ladies and gentlemen, again, we were Batman fans. And this game was the shit!
It was.
And you could, do the
cloaking.
cloaking.
Follow the movie and shit. And then have the scenes from the movie.
It was dope.
You'd be like, oh shit. I liked the final fight. It was like Bad Dude, but there was 3 people. There were 2 or 3 people.
I don't remember that one.
There were police guys. There was just like one little Van Damme type guy, and then a big fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger type guy, and something.
Because at that time, those were the stereotypes.
Yeah. And I mean, it was just cops. It was basically Super Nintendo Double Dragon is what it was.
Yeah.
2-player.
So who's the third one?
I think it was a
woman?
chick. Yeah, a chick. Yeah, I don't know where.
Sounds about right.
She was just a chick.
But a kick-ass chick.
Yeah, chick
like a Chung Lee type shit. Fuck your word up.
It was basically dude that had blonde hair that he knew martial arts. Then the chick was basically the same thing but a chick. And then the big guy was just like a big guy that would do wrestling moves. And
you know what? And that was always a formula for games back then.
Battletoads.
Battletoads. You had the same formula.
Yeah.
Because you got a big dude, you got a mediocre guy, and a small guy.
Yeah.
Like, and all the games were like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know why? So they could appeal to the mass media.
Yeah.
So everybody would be like, I want to be him. I want to be him. I want to be her.
And Turtles in Time. That was a good game.
Turtles. Oh, dude, Ninja Turtle games, dude. There's so many Ninja Turtle games I love because the one on GameCube was dope as fuck too.
Oh, yeah.
It was based off the 2000s cartoon. There's a couple of them, and they were good as fuck, man. They were good.
Oh, as wrestling fans, N64,
Yes!
and WCW versus NWO.
Yes! It was the shit. And then they had the one that was even, and the sequel was even better.
It was. Revenge.
Revenge. Because, one, not only did you not only have just the NWO, but you had the Ravens flock.
Yeah.
And the WCW guys.
I think Revenge is when you could make your own
And
character.
Wolf, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
And you had the Wolf Pack, and you had all that. And what was great about it was, but also the gameplay was better. The gameplay was better.
It's one of the best wrestling games ever.
It was fucking awesome.
Like,
that's a game that my dad, who doesn't like, my dad's very limited on any technology shit, and that was one of the games. Like to this day, he would play that game. Like he still has an N64 and plays Ken Griffey Jr. fucking baseball. You know, it's a fun ass. It's the only baseball game I like.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, crack it. Let's crack.
Man, I would get an N64 just to play Revenge again.
I would get
Because that game was
N64
the
to
shit.
play that game and Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, Shadows of the
Shadows of the Empire Star Wars is the best Star Wars video game. Honestly, my favorite Star Wars video games is Shadows of the Empire and Knights of the Old Republic. Back in the
Republic,
day
yeah.
on 360. 1 and 2.
What about Dark Forces?
Dark
My
Forces
house.
was the shit. Yes. Yes. Because that was the first time we was able to play as a fucking, you had a lightsaber.
Yeah, that was...
Even though you weren't a Jedi,
Yeah.
but you became a Jedi.
The second one you were, Dark Forces 2, you could be a Jedi. And you learned Jedi shit. It was like a
You know what's crazy about Dark Forces? I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No,
but
it's cool.
I have to say this. Because the crazy thing about Dark Forces is anybody who likes that has to like Episode 7. Because it's pretty much Episode 7. Because the guy in Dark Forces was a stormtrooper who became a Jedi.
Oh shit, I didn't even remember that.
So, it's Finn. It's Finn. Before Finn.
That's
Even though he
amazing.
became a Jedi.
Yeah, I remember that now. But I remember...
But he was a stormtrooper who became a Jedi.
Yeah, I was thinking about this.
Because
the other
Luke's
day.
in that game.
Yes. And I remember Empire Strikes Back, Super Nintendo. When you died, Yoda pops up.
Really?
And it would be a picture of Yoda and the phrase, do or do not.
There's no try.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because all the games said try again. And
This one said there is no try.
Yeah.
Your trying sucks. I love that phrase because that pretty much says,
It's true, though.
but it's true. It's like you didn't do good enough.
Yeah.
Trying sucks.
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
Yeah.
Loser. Like if I was Yoda, I'd be like taunting people like, loser you are. You know? You're like, you're a fucking loser, Luke.
But
Like,
yeah.
it's too heavy. Is it?
But I was
I'm 4 pounds. You 2,000. Like, he really doesn't weigh that much, but whatever.
Yeah, basically. But I remember that, and I was thinking about that the other day. Shadow of the Empire. I got that game. I remember playing that game. That was fucking amazing. And we played the shit out of Dark Forces at my house. That was a computer game though. that came out on computer.
Yeah, and it was the shit.
And it had all the weapons that you're like, oh shit.
You flown, and you also flown in spaceships
Yeah.
and that shit. I mean, the PlayStation was after those.
Oh yeah, PlayStation.
Well, before PlayStation, you had other shit. Because I remember the
Atari
Sega
Jaguar.
the Jaguar, you had that.
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
No,
Dreamcast was after
No,
PlayStation.
Sega Saturn.
Sega
Sega
Saturn.
Saturn.
And Sega CD was
Sega
before
CD,
that.
yes.
Because my aunt had this game called Tiger Shark, and it was like a first person shooter, but you were in like a spaceship thing, but you were in the sewers and just fighting like these
I think I know what you're
these
talking
mutant
about.
creatures in the sewers. It was fun as fuck. And they had the Jurassic Park game for that. It was fun as fuck.
I remember seeing that. Atari Jaguar. Remember Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah. That's when you mentioned Atari Jaguar, that's what I was getting ready to mention was that game was the shit.
That's the best.
First person shooter.
It's the best.
3 different versions.
Yeah.
And it was the shit.
It's the best Alien vs. Predator game ever made.
That's the only one I've ever played though.
But
I haven't played any other ones.
It's the best. I can guarantee you they need to remake it. It's the best one ever made.
Really?
I've played some other ones that I'm like, this isn't like.
What about that one that came on Xbox One? The
360,
Alien.
The 360 one?
Where there was an alien game. It was strictly an Alien, Marines or something like that.
Oh,
It was a first-person shooter.
Never played
supposed to be something similar like how Alien vs. Predator was back in the day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't played like new ones. The last one I played was kind of like, it was really weird. It was Alien vs. Predator. I think it was on 360, and it was like you had a group of like predators, or it was weird. I don't like it. I just thought it was the shit because the facehuggers jump on your face. You'd be like, ah.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about the
Jaguar
Jaguar
one?
Yeah, Jaguar one. Yeah, that was trippy. The thing I loved about it was that you could be the Predator.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could see his. Yeah. I thought it was so dope because you could do his mask.
Yes. Yeah, you could
would
change
see,
it.
and it would just look just like the fucking movie.
I know.
I was like, this is the shit. I'm gonna stab aliens in the face, and then I'm gonna come behind the humans and stab them in the face.
Yeah,
and
because you could cloak and shit too.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, because like the cloak though, like if you kill people when you was under a cloak, you got less points or some shit.
Yeah, I think
because
it's
like dishonorable or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's bullshit. Like this is how you strike without being seen, ninja motherfucker. Like that game was the shit.
But that little like right there in between Super Nintendo and PlayStation and
there was a bunch of little systems.
There was a bunch of little systems, and they were awesome because I had 3DO too briefly.
3DO, I forgot about that because they had the fucking one fighting game on it that was dope as fuck.
Oh, Samurai Showdown.
That's it, Samurai Showdown. I used to play the fuck out of that as an arcade because that was the only console I knew that had Samurai Showdown was a 3DO
for a while. I think later it came out.
That game was a shit too because they're like Hichimon, like they speak Japanese. Ninpo. You're like, shit, they're speaking Japanese, this is shit.
I remember I had Jaguar and 3DO at the same time. I got them because a dude that my brother went to school with stole them and gave them to us.
That's how you got that?
Yeah, originally. But then my brother wound up getting them legit later.
No.
But the first ones we ever had were stolen. Yeah. I think we wound up giving them back. But we did, because we hid them for a while and then we're like, fuck this, and give them back. But yeah, then we got them legit. And my favorite game on 3DO was a game called Crash and Burn. Do you remember that at all?
No, I don't remember that one.
I was really big.
Probably because every time I came over, I'm like, let's play Samurai Showdown. Joe's like, I don't want to play the fucking game.
It was a racing game. But the cool thing about Crash and Burn was you could edit your cars and like soup them up with guns and armor and shit. It was just like a battle racing game, kind of like Rock and Roll Racing for Super Nintendo. And I love that game because you could pick, there's like all different types of characters you could pick. They had different cars. You could soup them up differently. I beat that. It was awesome.
See, I never really got into racing games. The racing game that I fell in love with was later on. Was when, let's fast forward to PlayStation.
Yeah.
Need for Speed 3.
Oh!
Hot Pursuit.
Oh, shit.
That was my game.
I think...
I love that fucking... That game was so fucking fun when they came out with the GameCube. I ended up... My brother had the GameCube, and I didn't own it. But I bought several different games for his GameCube so I could play. Need for Speed, they had another one, Hot Pursuit 2.
Yeah.
Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 for GameCube came out. That was dope as fuck. But yes, the original PlayStation Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, that was my shit,
I think the first time I ever played Need for Speed was actually 3DO.
Really?
Yeah, and they had like these little videos of guys talking shit, like real guys. 3DO was the first time you actually saw...
Yeah,
3DO
real people.
Yeah, 3DO
like real
and Atari,
action
real
recordings.
People. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3DO and Atari Jaguar are the first ones that had like actual people talking shit.
Well, Sega Saturn, I mean Sega CD was
Sega
like that.
CD did
Sega
too.
CD was like that.
That was like super short-lived.
Very super short-lived. But they had like real life people, and that was one of the things. They're like, holy shit! That was like, that's what kills me about the gameplay. Like with all those games, I'm sure like the buttons weren't the greatest, like because the controller's fucked up, but it didn't matter because real people were talking to you.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, look at the graphics.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why am I going up and I'm supposed to go left? I don't know, but look at the graphics.
Look at this, it's a guy.
It's a fucking guy. He's talking shit. But I can't go left. I don't care. Go right, bitch. But if I go right, I die. Fuck it. The guy's gonna talk again. If you go right, do it. What can go wrong?
Exactly.
Like,
and that blew my mind seeing like real...
It blew everyone's mind.
And like...
That was always the biggest selling point of anybody to me when they go, look at the graphics.
I know, yeah.
Like new games is like, check out this game. This is badass. What's it about? Well, we're going in circles chasing our tail. Okay, but look at the graphics.
You remember? Okay, this goes back because I got a computer in there too, so I'd get computer games. What was the very first thing when you bought a new game? What did you do? You opened up the box.
Read the instruction book.
Instruction book.
They don't have that no
and
more.
And it blew you away looking at the pictures. Like, oh, shit.
Yes, yes. Especially, here's one that blew me away all the time. And I used to look at this. I used to own this book, this game, and the instruction book. I would look at this, I swear to God, all the fucking time. And I would look at all the pictures and awe and ooh, Mortal Kombat 2. Oh, Mortal Kombat 2's instruction book, because they had a bio of every character.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a bio about the game, why the tournament was taking place.
Yeah.
And you had these different comic books. They were taking straight out the comic books that they were drawing at the time.
Yeah.
And they were dope as fuck. And I was like, this is the most amazing shit ever.
And it's the instruction book to a
Instruction booklet. It's not even the fucking game. It's the instruction booklet. But the pictures, again,
I love
look at the graphics.
Yeah, exactly.
The graphics of the instruction booklet. Now we don't have those. Now I get mad. I go, why can I not know how to do this?
I know.
We haven't reached that part in the game yet, Tom, where you're going to have to learn it. I want to learn it now.
Or it's like, you gotta press start and press the menu thing.
Oh, that irritates.
That's
well,
stupid.
see, that doesn't bother me in like fighting games because it's handy. Be like, I can't remember that uppercut I just used, or
Yeah.
I can't. That I like that. Like I get it if it's like that, but if they have no inkling to anything and they just
tutorial basically.
tutorial up until you get to that point, you don't know how to do it. It was like I could have been playing this game a long time ago. If you just told me all the game controls right up front.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Instead, you got to learn them.
Oh, man.
I don't want to learn them. I want to know them.
Yeah, I loved instruction books, though.
They were the
manuals that
shit.
come with it. They need to bring that back.
Well, they're never going to.
I know they won't.
It's gone. It's gone.
It's
The closest thing we have to instruction book that's right now is the Grand Theft Auto games, any Rockstar game that has a map. That's the closest. And the free downloads that they put inside of it.
Or,
they're like, oh, check, there you go, there's a free download.
Or if you want a good instruction book, you buy the stupid manuals for $50.
Oh, yeah, they have all the secrets.
Yeah.
Well, then you know everything.
Yeah.
But see, I remember they had those back in the day too. Because I owned, again, let's take it back to Mortal Kombat. I owned Mortal Kombat 2s.
Oh, yeah?
I owned it because I had the game and I was just dominant, but I didn't know all the fatalities.
Oh,
I didn't know how to do all the I knew a couple of them.
Because they didn't show that in the instructions.
They didn't show that. You had to know it and figure it out and learn it, and people would hand it down to you.
Yeah.
So kids at school would hand this down to you, you know? And I didn't always have hand-me-down, so I didn't know everybody's. So I bought the actual the manual that showed you all the moves, all the fatalities, all the friendships, all the animalities, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I fucking mastered that game.
That was awesome.
That game was a shit.
That is awesome. Now, Sony PlayStation. You remember anything about that?
The original?
Yeah.
Lot.
Lot.
I had a few of them.
Yeah.
I had a couple of them. My favorite, I mean, when you talk about PlayStation, my earliest memories of PlayStation is Tekken. And what was the one game where you had the animals, the people that could turn? It was a fighting game also. You could turn the people into animals, and like they would be a human, and you'd be like pow, and they'd turn into like a fox or like a fucking lion. That was another fighting game for PlayStation early on. What the fuck was it called?
I know what you're talking about.
It was like Paws of Fury or something,
Yeah,
but that's not
right.
But it wasn't. It was something along those lines. But they had like 2 or 3 of them. They were dope as fuck.
I remember that.
They were fresh ass games because the dude I always played as was a tiger. He would turn into a fucking tiger, but they were like humanoid tigers, and you know what I mean. That was a dope ass game. What the fuck was that game?
I don't know what it was called.
Not Primal Rage.
No, it wasn't.
That game was a shit though too.
Yeah.
That game was dope.
But
it's
man,
not Bloody Roar, is it?
It is fucking Bloody Roar. You're right.
So that's
Bloody Roar.
Well, because I looked on my phone.
Yeah, well, I know, but you're right. You're right.
It doesn't even sound right to me.
No, it's right though. It's right. Bloody Roar is what you're talking about.
That's the game. That game was a Bloody Roar Primal Fury. So it make Primal Fury.
That's why we thought about Primal Rage.
That's Primal Rage. That game was a shit. So anybody who's listening, Google that shit because that game was the shit.
Gosh, they went up to 4. It looks like. Oh my! But yeah, I remember.
Dope ass game.
I loved playing that game. I was always like the lion guy.
I was always a tiger because the tiger's my favorite. It's like
Man.
pow! And they had like the fucking dude who was a
Rabbits and
mole.
shit.
Had a dude who's a
Yeah.
mole. And he's like fucking people up with his claws and shit.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that game.
The game was dope. Oh, you know what a game I forgot about on Nintendo and Super Nintendo? Castlevania.
Castlevania!
Castlevania was one that was bad as
Jesus,
fuck.
It was. Metroids were pretty sweet too.
Yeah, Metroid was alright.
Yeah,
like, I didn't really get in.
They
I mean,
had
they
some
were
big
alright.
ones later.
Yeah, but Castlevania was the
Castlevania.
shit. And on Super Nintendo, you got to play as the son of Dracula and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Those were dope as fuck.
That is.
Fucking video games, ladies
Man,
and
I can't
gentlemen.
bloody roar. Jesus.
How do I remember that?
I don't know.
Because what it is when you say trigger words,
Yeah.
fucking it triggers my mind. And when I say PlayStation, first thing that jumps in my mind is back in the day, you know, fucking owning the very first thing that one that I bought with my own money was PlayStation.
Yeah.
And the very first one I ever saw, like, it wasn't clunky like Sega CD and shit like that, was PlayStation.
Yeah.
And it was the fucking shit.
Well, look at
Tekken was the shit.
Tekken, oh god, yeah.
Bloody War was the shit.
Since we touched on computer games, like, I remember the first game that, like, really fucking blew me away. I remember getting PC Gamer magazine, and back then you'd get...
Nerd.
You'd get DVD... you'd get DVDs...
Nerd.
With demos on it.
Which were dope as
CD.
shit. Yes, I remember those.
And then I played Diablo for the first time, and it fucking blew me away. I was like... It was weird because I was playing it, and I grew up in, like, a Christian household.
Oh, yeah, you did,
And I'm sitting there playing, and I was like, should I be playing this? But we're gonna kill the devil, so I think it's
But then
good.
you become the devil.
But you don't know
Don't
that.
you become the devil or something like
you
that?
You do, but you don't know that playing it. And it's dumb, but it blew me away.
And you're like, holy shit! Shut up, Mom's gonna hear.
Yeah, exactly. And the graphics were cool. I loved it. It blew me away. And I love the series ever since. I've beat all 3 of them. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
But-
Diablo's a shit.
Yeah, it's a good franchise. Blizzard has some good shit. I wouldn't play World of Warcraft, but whatever.
I've never played it. Apparently, it's really addicting. The very first MMO game I ever played was at your house, and it was called Myth.
Myth. My
Myth was
brother
the
loves
shit.
that game. He still talks about that now.
That game was the shit. and what was cool about that was it was during the internet.
Yeah.
This is when the internet was getting big. This is when the internet was exploding.
Yeah.
Shit was going down. You could play video games like you can now. Back then it was revolutionary.
Yeah.
And then you would
It'd
talk
blow
to
your
each
mind.
other.
Yes.
And you would talk to each other, like send messages
Yes.
in the video game. You're like, holy shit, this guy's talking to me.
Yeah. And then you'd be like-
I remember me and you, like, we would have our own armies.
Yes.
But we would be, like, you would control it one day and I control it the next.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, he's talking shit about us, Joe. Get this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And then we talk shit back or we try to be
Exactly.
friends with... Because we
Yeah.
were friends with a dude named Killer B. Remember
Oh,
that?
Yes.
I'm like, yes, Wu-Tang, motherfucker. And it was, we were like, "Bah, bah, bah."
Oh man.
And
I
then we
totally-
joined forces with his armies and
Yeah.
shit. Like, it was a shit. That was back in, dude, when
It
the
was
fuck
like mid
was
90s.
that?
Because
Yeah,
I
it was
got-
mid-90s.
It was mid 90s, mid to late 90s. Because I did
I'd
the
say
same-
96, 97.
I would say
Somewhere
that
around
too.
there.
Because I would play Diablo the same way you could play that online.
That's normal shit nowadays.
Yeah, it's normal. Like on Diablo, you'd make a game, and up to 4 people could be in the same world, and then you'd get people that were trying to kill you, and you could get trophies off of people. You could cut people's ears off, is what it was.
Really?
Yeah, and you'd be like, and you could sell ears to people, and they had guilds and shit, and people could put warrants out for you and be like, take him out, and they'd pay you a lot of money to get ears from people. I remember playing one day, this dude, like, I was playing, we were cool, whatever. Dude was all like, he started shooting a firewall at me. I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't even really cheating at the time, but I had some fire resistant shit, and I just walked through and, like, cut him down. He was like, what are you doing? I was going to resurrect you. And I was like, whatever, dude, you're full of shit.
You killed him anyway.
Yeah. But back then, like
It was awesome because he was talking shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, fuck you.
And back then, you had to type it. You couldn't talk.
You couldn't
to
talk it. Exactly. And that's what made it even more personal. Because you had to take your time to go, fuck you, while typing it. And
Yeah.
I couldn't type back then.
Neither
So
did
I would be like one digit, like F, C. Watch out, Tom. Watch out.
Oh,
Kill him
shit.
real quick. C. K. You got too many C's in there. Erase that. Kill him again. Kill him again. All right. C. K. Where's that? Just erase it all, Tom. 7 hours later, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
But man, back then playing games online, that was like
It was the shit.
It was crazy. And that Myth game, oh my god! Like I said, my brother, they came out with 2. I don't know why
Yeah.
they still don't. They might still make them. I don't know.
I don't know either.
But they were amazing.
That's why I'm still blown away by online nowadays. Is because of shit like that. Because, like, I didn't have online for the longest time. And I fucking, I didn't have it for the longest time. And I was just like, whatever, I love playing games. I'm playing on stories.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck everybody. You know, and then when I finally got online again, you know, I got online and I'm like, oh, wow, this is what I'm missing. It's because I'm really pissing real people off. And I like that. Or I'm meeting, like, being friends with real people and shit. Like, Red Dead 2, like, to me is the perfect, because I didn't have headphones. I didn't have headphones a long time.
Yeah, I remember you say it, yeah.
And the thing was, every time I go fuck with somebody, I had to earn their trust.
Yeah.
Like they were wary. Like, they were like, this motherfucker here. I'd hear them on my TV. So I'd hear them saying, this guy, I don't know what he's going to do. Okay, he's just fishing like me. He's following me. And then his friend would be like, you think he's going to kill you? I don't know. No. And then I would save their asses. And they'd be like, he just saved us. All right, he's cool. Let's go. And then they'd start including me and shit. I was like, oh my God, I just joined this game. This is awesome. It's like, you know what I mean? Because, like, that's how fucking much doing it on the internet is fun.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you don't realize it until you do it.
I haven't
It's
done
like,
it in forever.
Oh my God,
I haven't
it's
done
fucking
it
a
in
blast.
forever. I think probably one of the last games I ever played online was probably Diablo 2 on computer. They fucked everything up in the second one online, whatever, but it wasn't as fun as the first one. Because in the first one, you could just kill anybody you wanted. You could just be a dick, you could walk into their game, kill them, take all their shit and leave.
Yeah.
In the second one, they put in these settings so where you both had to have, you could fight other players. If one person had the setting set on to fight other players and the other guy didn't, you couldn't fight.
Well, that's lame.
It was dumb.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it was all
Kill them
all.
all. That's how I see it. It's like, hey, do you like me? Okay, well, I don't like you.
Anything from the middle 360 PlayStation 2 era that stands out to you?
PlayStation 2 era. Yeah, San Andreas.
San Andreas.
all and GTA 3.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 3 was the one, like, that was the first Grand Theft Auto game I liked. Because the other ones were like a top head shit that was gay. I didn't like it. I don't like the top head shit. That's why I never liked Zelda. Up until N64 Zelda. The Ocarina of Time.
Yes,
that was dope.
Oh, God.
That was fresh.
A great game.
But before that, I hated Zelda.
Yeah.
Because it was all top view and it was lame. That's why I didn't like the Ninja Turtles game on Nintendo. The original Nintendo. Because it was top view.
Yes, I remember
and it was
that.
corny as shit.
Yeah. And you walk around.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Top-
like dirt,
top-
dirt, dirt, and you're.
But that's how
and then when
Grand
you're
Theft Auto
swinging,
started.
that's how it started.
Yeah.
And that's why I never liked it up until Part 3. Which Part 3 came out
yes.
when Part 3 came out was on the PlayStation.
Yep.
PlayStation 2 actually.
PlayStation 2, yeah. Because
Yeah.
the first one had the top view one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Grand Theft Auto 3 came out, and that was just like, fuck yes! Where's this game been? Like, why haven't you done this already? You know? And then on top of that, like San Andreas and Tekken 3 for PlayStation 2 were probably the games that I played the most in that era.
That era PlayStation, I don't remember a lot of that. I played Morrowind. It was on computer and Xbox.
Yeah, but you had that one also for Xbox, I remember. Didn't
No,
you?
that's what I'm saying. It was on computer and Xbox, and I
Yeah.
had it for Xbox. And I remember playing like Tomb Raiders on PlayStation.
See, I played Tomb Raider. I played one of those. I played a couple of the Resident Evil games. I remember playing them at Steve's house.
Yeah.
They were fun. I tell you, well, no, that was for 64. Was the football game NFL Blitz in 64?
Blitz.
Dude, I used to play the fuck out of that game.
They've made newer ones.
Really?
Where you can like shoot people up on the side with like droids or
Really?
something. And yeah,
Oh, wow.
it was crazy.
That's a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Fuck that. No,
Yeah.
but Blitz was a shit. Because
Yeah.
back in the day, I was the only person playing as a Bengals. And Blitz was my only way of being, like, equal. because Blitz was the only NFL game where you
could do whatever. You couldn't.
Everybody was equal.
Yeah,
like everybody was equal, regardless of your stats.
Yeah,
you were equal.
Yeah.
Whereas if you played Madden. And your stats sucked,
yeah,
good luck. Good luck. You know, fuck that.
I remember that.
But Blitz was totally different.
Madden.
Well, see, I like Madden now because I understand, like, now as I know plays with football and shit. So, like, I had my Madden game and I was killing it. But I need to get a new one because I want to play it online and see how good I do. Probably not very.
They have, like, tournaments for money.
I know.
And shit
It'd be fucking fun. It'd be fun. I haven't done it. It'd be fun, though.
Oh, shit. But, man, I don't remember much of that era. No, 360 I had,
really?
like...
PlayStation 2?
Like, yeah. Well, no, PlayStation 2 and 360. Now, I played Gears of War on 360, and that game was badass for that. And Red Dead, yes.
Red Dead for 360 was the shit.
That's one of the games, like, whew.
It's amazing.
Oh my God, Red Dead!
Fucking amazing.
Like, I was so glad when I heard 2 was coming out because I was like, holy shit, that first game was just oh my God. And
dude,
like,
part 2 is just as good.
Oh, part two's probably better.
I believe so.
I would put it out there. I mean, I beat both of them, and I love that you can beat, spoiler, John Marston at the end.
There's no spoilers. If you haven't beat the fucking game yet, then fuck you. Yeah. There's no spoilers. Like, to me, like, only time you should say spoilers is, like, the first week out. Or maybe the second week out, but a month out?
Somehow reviewing it.
Yeah. So... Yeah, it was the game's October. Been out for a grip. Yeah. If you haven't fucking played it, then you're never going to play it. Yeah. And if you don't know, now you know. Motherfucker.
But what I want to do, what I would love for them to do, and I've talked about it, is let you download Red Dead, the first one, and play with awesome graphics on Red Dead 2 as John Marston.
But you're already doing that.
So you can play the game as like... The whole
I
story.
See what you're saying. Like
the whole story.
So I see what you're saying. So no, that's actually pretty interesting. That would be cool if they could do that. Because then you would download it and you'd be like right into after Red Dead 2 is done. Yeah. Now you kick in the Red Dead the original.
Exactly.
I see.
And then you
can
hunt down Dutch and take all those other assholes out and then get killed.
And get waxed. Yeah. Or do like I'm doing on the one right now, like Red Dead 2, right up. Dude, I'm like a complete bad guy. I've got these fucking I've got 1,500 bounties in damn near the entire map. I got this one spot where I have no bounty at. I have to keep that from.
Oh yeah, so you have some place to go.
So I have somewhere to go. So the one territory is connected to my house that I don't have a bounty in. Yeah. But down south and Lemoyne and New Hanover, so New Austin, Hanover and Lemoyne, I got $1,500 bounties on each of those. So if I go within like 15 feet, I get bounty hunters on my ass. Like 8 of them at a time. I'm like, but I ambush them. Like, come on! Sometimes they win, sometimes I win. Yeah. Now, I had this badass Mustang that I tamed, and he was the shit. But he died because of this fact that I have this fucking bounty, and they're on my ass. But yeah, video games are fucking just, they've come along so well. Skyrim, dude, that game's the shit. Assassin's Creed, that's probably my favorite Assassin's Creed now, is Black Flag. Black Flag and Part 2 are my favorite, because they are the best. Never played that one.
Far Cry Primals, I think you'd totally dig it. Like, it doesn't get a lot of play because not a lot of copies are made, from what I understand.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, it's different from the Far Cry.
It looks cool. Is that the one with saber-tooth tigers and all that shit?
It's the one you're a fucking, like, caveman. And you craft all your weapons and stuff. It's real. It's crazy. It's different.
Sounds wild.
I haven't played a lot of it because I was dumb. And I bought this a week before Red Dead 2 came out. Yeah, and then I never touched it again.
Yeah, that is pretty stupid. Like, to me, I cleared my schedule. In fact, I remember when Red Dead 2... I took vacation when Red Dead 2 came out. So, like, my entire vacation, I was just playing Red Dead. Like,
I know.
Like, this is just shit.
And then you come over. You're like, you haven't beat this yet?
You haven't done this yet?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you? Yeah. Like, I can't tell you anything.
Yeah. You're like so far behind. It's like, yeah, Tom, I've been working.
Well, I was working up until that point.
I beat this like 2
I know.
weeks ago.
But see, I got obsessed with it because that's what I do with games. Like, if it's a game I really
Yeah,
enjoy,
you get
I
sucked
become
in.
obsessed with it. I
Yeah.
get sucked in. Like, Assassin's Creeds were big on that. The Arkham games were
Oh,
big on that.
Arkham.
Like, the Arkham games really sucked me in a lot.
so good.
Especially Arkham City, dude. Arkham City, man, is like... It takes
Yeah, and
you
being
in.
a Batman fan, I can tell that it was probably
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then Arkham Knight is the shit, man. Now, Arkham Origins sucks balls.
Oh, yeah.
That game was terrible. But Arkham Knight is the bomb diggity. Because it's everything that you loved about Arkham City with Arkham Asylum. And then, on top of that, you're riding the Batmobile. You can drive the Batmobile around. Like, who the fuck does not want to drive their Batmobile around? You gotta be a complete retard. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Handicapped people love to drive the Batmobile. You have to be a complete piece of shit, evil motherfucker not to want to ride in the Batmobile.
Now, I beat Arkham Asylum. I love that game. I thought it
Game
was
is
amazing.
shit. Arkham City's better.
I played Arkham City.
Arkham City's a shit.
I just thought I'm the type that like it was so close to the original that I couldn't get into
Yeah,
it.
but it's
I couldn't-
free world.
I know,
It's
but
free world.
I know.
But see, Arkham Knight's even better. Like, it's free world. And the map is even bigger. I mean, it's a close... to me, it's Assassin's Creed meets Batman. Pretty much. You know what I mean? Like,
A little bit
Assassin's Creed's a shit. Like, I love Assassin's Creed. That's probably my favorite franchise of all time. Like, honestly, it's gotta be. Because there's all their games, not all of them I like, but there's more than 3 that are my top favorite games. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So out of the entire history of Assassin's Creed, only a couple of them I didn't like,
Yeah.
and it wasn't that I didn't like them that I would not play them. I'd still play them. It's just they weren't as good. They weren't what brought me into the Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed game. Like, what got me into Assassin's Creed was being an assassin and killing people in broad daylight, surrounded by people, and then you're gone. And nobody knows what just fuck happened. And then you get to climb these fucking buildings, these ancient buildings that's been around test of time. You know, like in Assassin's Creed 2, you can go to the Colosseum, the Pantheon.
Yeah.
You go to fucking Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Wow.
You go to fucking all these fucking spots. You can climb that shit.
I've only played Black Flag.
Black Flag's the shit, man. Don't get me wrong. I love Black Flag is one of my favorites because it brought back the stealthy aspect in it. Before that was part 3, which I liked because it was in America.
Yeah.
But it was run and gun, just run and gun. You know, and that's what got me out of it. But I still like part 3 because there was shit that I always wanted to see that you never got. So you as a Native American. You know, that was cool as fuck. I'm like, that's dope. And you're climbing up trees instead of buildings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're in the wilderness, hopping from tree to tree instead of from building, which was dope as fuck.
Yeah.
You know, to me, I was like, holy shit, I can do this in my backyard. You know what I mean? Like, it was dope as fuck.
That's cool. Yeah. Yeah, it was the first.
But there
game I ever
wasn't
played.
much stealth aspect to it. Like, you didn't have to be stealthy in it.
Why?
That game, you had to be stealthy a lot of times.
Like reason why I wanted to play Black Flag was
To be a pirate.
be a pirate.
And it's fun as fuck as a pirate.
I know, and my daughter loved watching me like raid ships
It's
and
fun.
Going fishing, whaling.
Oh,
or
yeah,
shark-
that's fun as fuck, too. That's fun as fuck, too.
Yeah, she liked watching that stuff, but I got stuck on a level, and I
What level?
It's like when you're on an assassin island.
Oh, that's the shit. Because you gotta be stealthy
Stealthy.
as fuck.
Yeah,
You gotta be stealthy as fuck.
and
That's when
I
you
got
become
stuck.
when you become an assassin.
Yeah.
Captain Kidway, sir.
Yep.
Captain Kidway.
But yeah, I got stuck on that level. I haven't played it much since.
Oh, dude, I love Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like with games, like nowadays, like I feel like either you gotta be involved with the franchise, even understand. Like, there's so many games out there. I'll see them in stores, and I'm like, what the fuck is this even about? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. I've never even heard of this. You know, why would I waste my time to pay $60 if I never heard of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never do that.
Yeah.
So instead, I'd waste $60 on something I've heard of, and chances are it probably sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's a lot of things, though. Like, you talked about graphics and how they sell video games. A lot of times, that's all the game is.
Graphics.
Is graphics.
Exactly.
There's no gameplay. And that's why a lot of those older games stand the test of time, because the gameplay is so cool.
It's cool. And it's challenging.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
You know? And it's
still-
fun.
Like, even when it hits Super Nintendo, even Nintendo, the graphics are bearable to us.
Honestly, the
If
only,
the gameplay
only
is-
graphics, like, to me, that I couldn't sit through anymore would be Pong. You know what I'm saying? But, like, even Atari,
Yeah.
I could play that.
Yeah.
Pac-Man, who the fuck couldn't play Pac-Man? You know what I mean?
It's
if you
still
can't
in
play
arcades
Pac-Man
now.
Yeah, if you can't play Pac-Man, you're a fucking idiot. Because it's not about, it's like, you're outrunning shit.
Yeah.
So now you're like, oh shit, and the excitement kicks in. Because you're getting trapped in a corner with 4 ghosts.
Oh,
and
God.
then you get away, you're like, fucking eat my ass! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why that game's so good.
Yeah.
Because it's triggering these emotions
Yeah.
that don't need much to be triggered.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody who fucking goes, that's great graphics! Graphics! That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's the same. The people who yell about graphics as being a great game is the same fucking idiots who yell about a movie about graphics and think it's a great movie because the graphics are good. That don't mean shit. I've seen a lot of good graphics in
Yeah.
shit movies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think we've reached our limit for this episode of video games. At least.
Video games, I think so too.
Yeah.
Tune in next time, motherfuckers.